Hey everybody, welcome back to FSi DFS. I'm McKinley412 looking at this 8-game slate on Tuesday. We got some big names. We got some big hitters going with Edmonton, Colorado, the top line of Dallas, Tampa Bay with Kucherov and Point and Hedman, Carolina. One thing about all of them, they're all on the road. So it is going to be a really intriguing slate, I think, in my opinion. So let's just kind of go ahead and break it down. Carolina, biggest money line favorite, minus 285. The Islanders right behind them at minus 200. This Arizona Islanders game, it is a low 6 over under, kind of even trending towards 5.5. Both teams play very defensively, and both have very solid goaltenders to back it up as well. The flip side of that is going to be this Tampa Bay at Buffalo matchup. Even on the money line, both teams, a lot of offensive firepower with a lot of question marks at goaltender. So, going to be a really fun game to watch. I'm full disclosure, I am a big Buffalo Sabres fan, so I'm going to be watching that game. But I still think that is going to be a really intriguing game for DFS purposes. Projected goalkeepers down here. A couple of these guys are confirmed. Again, these are the 2022 save percentage stats. Many of these teams, even the goalies, only have 1 or 2 games to their names so far. So still looking at the 2022 stats for them. But guys like Vizmelka, guys like Georgiev, Helebyuk, they're already confirmed as starters. So pay attention to that throughout the day. Johansson, he is highlighted yellow here just because his save percentage isn't fully like 895. He only had 2 games last season. So over his career, he's struggled. We'll just say he's really struggled. 895 honestly is a little bit higher than I think where it should be. So like that Buffalo game on both sides of the map. Let's go to the line stacks. I could have put so many different line stacks here. I was really toying around with a lot of it. I initially had Colorado, a trio of Rantanen, McKinnon, and Cale Makar. Extremely pricey, but I mean, they're just on fire to start the year here. But I just ultimately ended up with Edmonton. Now, 2 reasons. One of them, matchups. Colorado's going up against Seattle. Seattle's penalty kill so far this season is perfect. They have not allowed a single power play goal against in their 3 games, and Seattle just plays a little bit more of a defensive style of hockey, just kind of like closing things down, shutting things down. Nashville, they're the complete opposite. They are wheeling and dealing up and down the ice. They got a new coach who said he wants to have an entertaining style of hockey. So Edmonton, that just plays right into Edmonton's wheelhouse. They want to go up and down the ice. They want to have McDavid and Draisaitl just fly. And that's what they've done. And Edmonton, they've shaken the lines up. They have put Draisaitl up on the top line with McDavid. Typically they are, the first line center, second line center, but now they've paired them together. Remains to pay attention to Twitter, pay attention if this is still the case. But on Monday's practice, they had these 2 guys together. So now we have the greatest power play unit, Edmonton, that we have seen in the NHL in a very long time, now skating at even strength, they're studs at even strength with Draisaitl and McDavid. Bouchard, he's the defender. He can provide you with a little bit of savings. You could also go with a guy like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins if you do want to get some more savings. And then Nashville, last year they had a really solid penalty kill, 6th in the league last year. That has not been the case to start this season. They've been on the PK 11 times, and they've allowed 4 goals in that. So with the combination of Draisaitl and McDavid, it's going to eat a lot of your salary. You're going to have to find value somewhere, and I think there's going to be quite a bit of value to be found. But yeah, so that's kind of why I'm going with Edmonton over Colorado in that regard. Connor, Scheifele, Velarde, this is the top line for Winnipeg. They also get full power play correlation. They've done great to start the season. Connor and Scheifele have 5 goals combined. Connor's got 3, Scheifele's got 2. Maybe even flip that around. But Velarde, he's no slouch by any means. He's not on the score sheet yet, but he is no slouch. He's able to shoot the puck on net. We've seen what he's able to do, and he's kind of got a little bit of a revenge game here, going to or facing off against his old team of Los Angeles Kings. Los Angeles, they kind of put all of their stock into, and really, honestly, their entire salary cap into their forwards, into their offense and scoring goals. They've kind of neglected, defensive depth and goaltending, essentially. So I think that's going to kind of be a pattern for LA moving forward this season. It's going to be a lot of like question marks at goalie. And Talbot, he's the projected starter, and he's just kind of steadily declined in terms of his skill level, in terms of what he's been able to do over the past 5 years. So I think that these guys can provide you with some nice salary relief. If you want to get even cheaper, you could go to a guy over here highlighted, Iafallo, 3.5K. He doesn't skate on that top line, obviously, because the top line is Connor, Scheifele, and Velarde, but he does skate with them on the top power play unit, and he's only 3.5K, so I don't mind him as a nice cheap play. But yeah, Winnipeg, I like him. GPP, or maybe not GPP, I don't know, but we'll go with Tuck Thompson and Rasmus Dahlin for the Sabres. Sabres offense, it struggled. I'll be honest, it struggled to start the year, but Tampa Bay's defense has struggled even more. Like they're looking very susceptible, and believe it or not, so far, you can go to Natural Stat Trick or natstattrick.com. Check out all the individual stats and on-ice stats, the rates. It's insane. But the two guys with the highest expected goals against this season while they're on the ice is Nikita Kucherov and Braden Point. Two guys that are going to be facing off against Tuck and Thompson here tonight. So Thompson, he was the sixth highest goal scorer in the league last year. I think he had 47 goals. Tuck, he had 37 goals himself. I did put Dahlin here instead of Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner just kind of looks a little bit off in his first two games. Dahlin, I think, is more than capable of, having a ceiling game and doing very well. So I really like, no bias, this Buffalo side. I mean, 7 over under for a reason. Looking over here towards the individual plays, already talked about McKinnon and that top line of Colorado. I really do like them. Just Seattle kind of shuts things down a little bit more. He's not going to have 14 shots on net this game. Maybe he's still going to be in play for the shot bonus. Absolutely. It doesn't matter the matchup. Nathan McKinnon can get there, but he's going to need a goal really to pay off his price tag here. Point, you can compare him with Kucherov. You can compare him with Hedman. These are the three guys for Tampa Bay that would be leading the charge if this game does get to be into like a shootout, which I could entirely see with Tampa Bay and Buffalo here. So Point, do like him there. Sebastian Aho, 7.1K. You'll kind of see as we go throughout these individual plays, I don't have a whole lot of interest in Carolina. And it's mainly like, yes, they're the highest favorite on the board. Yes, they're facing San Jose, who really is arguably one of the worst teams in the league. But the Carolina scoring generation is just so spread out. You get a goal notification for Carolina, you honestly don't know who's scoring. You get a goal notification for Edmonton or Buffalo or Dallas. Like, it's going to be from those top lines, or Colorado. Like, you got a very good sense of where this goal is coming from. You don't really get that same feeling and confidence with Carolina. Ryan O'Reilly, this is a GPP play at best. He's going to be tasked with stopping McDavid, and now he's going to be tasked with stopping McDavid with Draisaitl on his wing. So it's going to be very difficult for him, but we were able to see a glimpse of what Elias Pettersson, the top line for Vancouver, was able to do against McDavid when they were on the ice, and yeah. It went very well for Pettersson, so maybe the same can be held for Ryan O'Reilly here, but this is a GPP play at best for sure. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, already talked about him. He does skate on that top power play unit with Draisaitl and McDavid, but he's going to be on the second even strength line, so no correlation in terms of even strength. Hartman from Minnesota. I haven't talked about Montreal yet. Montreal's defense, very, very shaky. Very, very shaky. So Minnesota, I think they do have the firepower. They can certainly get there. Pairing Hartman with a guy like with Kaprizov, I'm going to have a whole lot of interest in Kaprizov here, especially at 7.8K. He's a lot cheaper than he normally is. So Hartman, he doesn't get the top power play time with him, but they do skate at even strength together. And then Paul for Tampa Bay, skating on a top power play unit with Tampa Bay. Buffalo, just not great on the penalty kill last season, not great on the penalty kill this season. In Tampa Bay, an elite power play unit. Speaking of elite power play units on Tampa Bay, Kucherov, don't really have to say anything else about that. Kaprizov, already talked about him. Forsberg, you can pair it with O'Reilly if you are wanting to go with O'Reilly. Forsberg would be a nice pairing that you would go along with him. Fiala, he's had a great start for Los Angeles in the 2 games so far. He does get on that third line, but the third line of LA with Fiala, he's still going to generate offense. He's going to shoot the puck a lot. He skates on that top power play unit. I think that he could be a really nice, middle of the salary tier play if you do want to go there. Hagel, pay attention to the injury news of Steven Stamkos. If Steven Stamkos is out, I'm going to have a little bit more interest in Hagel just because he's going to be bumped up to that top power play unit and take over the Steven Stamkos role there. He's also going to skate on that top line with Point and Kucherov. So pay attention to Steven Stamkos and if he is in or if he is out. Palmieri, 4.5K. He's just got a nice little floor in terms of, he's going to shoot the puck, 3 times a game or so. He scored in the opening game for the Islanders. Islanders, second biggest favorite. It is a lower over-under, but I do think that 4.5K is a little cheap and could be a nice little discount for him moving on. Iafallo, already talked about how he could be a great pairing with any of these guys or even just as a one-off. If you want to get cheap, he skates in that top power play unit for Winnipeg. And then Benson for the Sabres, 2.5K. I watched both of those Sabres games, both of their first 2 games to start the season, and I kid you not, Benson actually looks like one of the better players on the ice. The offense has really struggled. This Tuck, Thompson, Skinner top line of them has really struggled, but the line of Benson, Greenway, and Middlestat has looked really good. Benson at min price, I'm not saying he should be like 5K by any means, but he should be more than min price at 2.5, so I'm going to have some interest with him there. Over towards the defense, Makar and Josie, I don't have to talk really much about them. They're just unreal. Hedman, kind of already talked about them with Tampa Bay. Morrissey shares top power play unit with all these guys on Winnipeg. Dobson, he's kind of there. It's more so like a gut feeling than anything else. But if you got 500, I would definitely go up to Morrissey. I could also see going cheap at defense being very popular with so many big names with McKinnon and Makar and Kucherov and Point, Draisaitl, McDavid. Like so many studs are going on this slate. I do think that some people or a lot of people are going to be going cheap at defense. McNabb could be one of those guys. He is also going to be injury watch. Alex Pietrangelo, make sure you're checking the status on him and if he is going to be out. If he is out, McNabb, he's going to see some increased ice time. Jersey for Arizona, talked about him the other day. He did very well. And then Ferraro, Carolina is going to be peppering shots on San Jose. Like, San Jose just let up, it was like 55 shots to Colorado. San Jose is one of the worst teams in the league. Carolina is one of the better teams in the entire league. Carolina shoots the puck a ton. San Jose shot blockers are going to be in for a workout. So 3K, I think that it's going to be a little bit too cheap. All he needs is 3 block shots, and he's going to pay off his salary. Love it. In terms of goalie, I hate, promoting goaltender plays just because goalie's just so, hit and miss, whatever. But I do like both sides of this Dallas-Vegas game in Hill and Ottinger. Vizmelka, I think, is just too cheap at 7K, even as like a pretty, decent underdog. And honestly, goaltenders, sometimes you want the underdog because they're going to see a whole lot of shots. Islanders, they don't generate a whole lot of shots. It's like kind of the main issue with it. But he's a very solid goaltender. 7, if everything was an even playing field and it was based on skill level, he should be more than 7K. And then Blackwood, he's just completely GPP. He just shut down Colorado for like 52 shots before letting one in. He could also be just completely exhausted, though, and just, fall off the rails, and Carolina scores 7, and it all just blows up. But yeah, so, that's kind of where the slate shakes out. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Please hit that subscribe button. We are trying to get to 4,500 by the end of the week here. I think we're only like 15 or 20 away. We can do it. I get all the analytics. We look at them. It's like 75% of you guys aren't even subscribed. So please hit that subscribe button. Really would help us out. So thanks as always for watching. Good luck in your contest, and we will see you in tomorrow's video.